Hi, I'm Anna with VSAC. I'm here talking with Jeff Norway, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about his work. So Jeff, could I start by having you tell us your job title and where you work?
I'm president of Norway Sons. We're electrical contractors in Barre, Vermont. My brother and I own the company. So I kind of run everything.
Awesome, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your job entails?
Yeah, a lot of it is project management, which all large scale construction, every company has a project manager. So we buy everything, get it shipped to the job site, make sure the people on site have materials to work with, because you don't want people standing around without stuff to work with. And I do CEO, CFO stuff. But there's a lot. We do mostly large buildings. There's a lot to, buying a large lighting order, making sure everything's right, buying a large gear order, generators, fire alarm systems. You have to get everything that purchased and get submittals and get them approved through the architect, then get them ordered. So it takes a lot of time on a big project.
Thanks, yeah, I bet. Could you talk a little bit more about your career and education background and how you came into this kind of work?
I grew up working for my father, who owned a very large electrical contracting company, largest in Vermont when I was growing up. So I've always done it since I was 14 or 15 years old. I went to UVM, studied chemistry, graduated in '86. Took a lot of math, which is pretty handy in the bookkeeping, accounting part of my duties. Math's always good for anything, as far as that goes. So I've kind of always done it. My father retired young, and my brother and I started our own company when he retired.
That's great, thanks. What is one of your favorite things about your work?
New projects are good. Nothing's messed up yet, and just figuring it all out, figuring out all the orders, going through the prints. My brother does all the estimating, so once we get a job, then I take it over. So I kind of take his estimate, have to enter budgets. There's a lot of job costing. We do larger scale stuff, so you're checking all your costs against the estimate, making sure you're not going over. So setting the job up initially is a lot of work. I like driving around the state. I go visit most of the jobs once a week. Seeing the progress every week's rewarding.
Thanks. And maybe some of that leads into the next question, which is what's one of the things that you find the most challenging about your work?
Oh, just day-to-day grind problems. I have very good foremen. So if the problem gets to my level, it's usually not easy. So I usually spend quite a bit of time solving issues that come up. Service work is small jobs are a pain, kind of. There's like the same amount of work processing $100,000 job as there is $1 million job. You still have to figure everything out. So I like the larger scale stuff. Day-to-day grind. I don't take a lot of time off, so vacations are nice. I try to golf 2 or 3 times a week. Get a break from it. Employees can be a headache. We've got 40 people, so you always have your troubled employees you have to deal with.
Thanks. And you talked a little bit about this with driving around the state, but can you walk us through what a typical day might look like for you?
Yeah, in general, I spend probably half my time in the office and half my time going to job sites. So when I go to a job site, usually I go to 2 to 3 in one day that are in whatever area I'm headed. Talk to my foreman, walk the job site, take notes. So then there's usually 6, 8, 10 things to deal with, either problems to figure out or things to be ordered or whatever. So then the days I'm in my office, I go through the lists I make on the days I drive around. There's a whole world of insurance, accounting, government rules and regulations, which are never ending. So that takes some time. That would probably fall under the things I don't enjoy as much. Dealing with all that, but been doing it for 28 years now, so getting the hang of it. Most stuff's monthly. Have to bill every month, so the 28 years I've done the monthly thing quite a few times now. Just a matter of staying on things. If you don't process it every month, like 3 months later, it's hard to go back and figure out. You gotta make sure to close your months out cleanly and get your customers to do the same. So you don't end up arguing over something that happened 4 months ago that nobody remembers exactly what happened.
That's great. Thanks. What do you think would make someone a good fit for this kind of work?
You have to have an interest. You have to be fit enough to be on your feet 8 hours a day, go up and down ladders. It's not like being a mason tender where you're carrying bricks all day. It's not that hard, but you have to be relatively fit. You have to have an interest. Anybody that's good with tools, whether they worked on cars or worked as a carpenter or worked as anything, just generally using tools, tape measure, level kind of stuff. Amazingly little of what we do is actually knowing how to connect the wires. You have to mount all the conduit straight, put all the lights up straight. So tape measure, level stuff's important. Get everything straight and where it's supposed to be. The actual connecting of the wires can come later. Work attitude. You got to show up on time every day. Show up every day, not miss work, not play on your phone all day. I've had pretty good luck this year. I've got 10 or 12 new high school graduates that are working out well. I can say, excuse me, probably 90% of the people that don't work out, it's attendance, attitude related. Very few people don't have the ability to do it. Math is big. Be able to read and write, do math.
That's great. That's a good lead into the next question too, which is, if a student's interested in this kind of work, what would you recommend that they do to keep exploring it? Like volunteer work, classes, projects at home, part-time jobs, anything like that, particularly for like a middle or high school student who's kind of thinking this might be something they're interested in down the road?
Yeah, anything involving tools and tape measures and levels, whether you're helping somebody build a shed or working on a car, or just knowing how to use tools is a big thing. And then eventually, it takes 4 or 5 years to get your journeyman's license, then a couple of years to get your master's. But if you want to move up, eventually at 35, 40, if you want to move up to project manager level, knowing how to run Office like Word, Excel, all that. Adobe's huge. All the fixture and gear submittals come in Adobe. So being good at Adobe Reader and Writer is good. And for working programming in general, fire alarm panels we put in, I'll have to get programmed. Most buildings now with the Fish of Vermont have programmable lighting controls. A lot of them, you program the modules through an app on your smartphone. And if you work in an office, being techie's good. Nobody ever gets rid of the techie guy in their office. In business in general, accounting, math, business type stuff is good to know.